My name's Max Convexity. Hope everyone's having a good day. There's Jackson. Good morning, Jackson. Good morning. Kind of another overcast day here in Austin. I'm not using a microphone this morning. I'll try to speak up. All right, guys. All right, let's take a quick live looking at the market before the market even opens. We'll look over here. Let's see what is going on. All right, let's look at overnight stock index futures. All right, so I guess the crash everyone planned is now over, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe it'll start here in a few minutes. But anyway, it's about 8:25, 8:22 here in the Central Time Zone. Market opens in about 8 minutes. So let's take a look at these option positions, and then by that time the market will be open. All right. Here we go. So let's start over here with, in case you didn't see this last night, Triple QY. These guys sold the 18,075 strike. Right now, when they sold that, the price was around 18,000. So that's 75 points or out of the money. So they got 127 points they received for selling that option, and they can make the 75 points up as well if the market will go up and cooperate with them. That's how much capital gain they have to stand at 75 points. And but as far as income, they make 127.56. This would be a $1.9 million winner. The other day Friday was a $3.8 million loser, which is not good. Wednesday was not good either. These guys on the month are down 13 cents. I don't think the Triple QY has ever been positive this month. On day two, they were ahead 4 cents. We're looking at a dividend estimate of 60 cents, which I know that's kind of low, and but that's it. That is what the calculation is. I'll keep trying to see if I can make it go higher or make sure I didn't miss something, but the other estimates are in line with last month. Look at this one. This is IWMY. These guys' estimates $1.10, and they paid $1.08 last month. Let's see how these guys are doing. IWMY. So they have also not been ahead all month. Well, I guess on day one they were ahead 9 cents because they made 762,000. But then since then, as far as IWMY goes, it has been slim pickings. They're down 45 cents a share today, or that would be even after they make this 1.1 million, assuming they do. In any event, at least the dividend estimate's going all right on that one. So now let's check out JEPY. All right, these guys sold options at the 51.35 strike. The market was around 51.23 when they did that. So these guys made 28 points, but they also stand to make that little bit of money. It may not seem like a lot, but those 12 points right there, that comes out in the NAV on days they make that. On the other side, that on days the market goes down, they also bring it out of the NAV. It comes out of the NAV, but that's what I'm learning. The NAV and what the NAV does is just what it's going to do, and how much they collect on a daily basis off this, $28, 21, 25, 28, 15, 23. That's two separate deals. They're going to collect this on a daily basis, no matter what the NAV does. They aren't worried about I don't want to say they aren't worried about it, but it's just going to do what it's going to do. They'll just collect this and pay it out. On months where the market's really positive and we go up and go through the strike all the time, it will make that extra little 10 points today that I showed you, the difference between, and that will come out in the NAV price. But they just figure out this, whatever this is, 28, 21, they figured that out and they keep it separately. And that's why, and the reason they do that is the reason I'm able to predict these dividends so closely, and a lot of other people are, because it's a formula is how they're doing it. In any event, all right. So JEPY, these guys sold the 51.35 strike for $28. As far as premium goes, that's the most premium they've had, on the board all month. That they've had 28 two other times also. If you're just looking at raw, the price they brought in. Now, and remember, this was set, this $28 or nearly $29 was set before any of the stuff happened in Iran. And, well, it was set before the Saturday invasion. I guess they didn't know for sure that was on. I bet it was already factored into the price though. So, but in any event, these guys need at least 5106 out of the SPX to break even. So let's go look at the profit box and let's see how it looks. This is JEPY. These guys trade SPX options, and we were way down on Friday. Looks like maybe we were way down on Friday because maybe people were front running the news of the Iran invasion, is what I'm thinking. And the reason I'm thinking that is because then, ever since then, the market's gone straight up. It's almost like the move happened before the news in this case, in my opinion. That, see what Bitcoin's doing today. At least it's back up again. I'm going to zoom out for a little more perspective. But I've been following these three lines forever, for 2 weeks, and it's under all three of them. All right, I'm going to try to stay on topic though. Let's look over here at IWMY's profit. Let's look at IWMY's profit box. Right now, I believe, I was going to say Russell was the strongest last night, but right now the strongest is NASDAQ. All right. You could see the other day on Friday, they never even touched the profit box, never even looked at it. We never even had a bar going that direction or a candle. We never even had a green candle looking at the darn profit box on Friday. Well, hopefully it's going to be a different story today. Hopefully it's going to be max profit on all three of these. Did we check NDX yet? Let's look at it just to be on the safe side. I'm going to turn off these Bollinger Bands because I like them, but they're a little bit distracting to look at sometimes. So that's a pretty good looking profit box. It's not as big as this profit box. We've had a lot of, so here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that vols picked up, and I don't track it. Yes, I do track it on my spreadsheet, but I don't really have a column. I've never really tracked that because I figure it'll just take care of itself. I could easily do an option price and divide the option price by the last price of the market and get a percentage. Maybe I should do that. And anyway, in any event, just by looking around, it looks like vol's gone up. So I'm hoping for big distributions, regardless of what the NAV does. The NAV's not behaving this month, but I'm hoping for big distributions next month. What's throwing me off in that calculation a little bit is the old is this one right here, is this estimate. The triple Q, no, the IWMY, no, which one is it? Yeah, I guess it's the triple QI. Yeah, it's 20 cents under what it has been running. Now, I guess I didn't look back far enough last time I was evaluating this. They did only pay 62 cents in December. So I guess the 60-cent dividend would not be out of the, just unreasonably low. There's somebody in Discord who listens to this sometimes, and they have a spreadsheet also, and I'm going to hit them up later and compare their numbers with my numbers and see and make sure I don't have any errors. Make sure this isn't low somewhere. because that just seems low considering the anecdotal information of, oh man, it's been super volatile lately. I mean, look how tall these profit boxes are. I think we're now, and that's NASDAQ. Yeah, that's the asset we're talking about. I've seen volatility when it gets really compressed before, and it doesn't seem like it's been that way lately. Seems like it's been crazy to me. And with good reason. Look at this market. It's just been all over the place. This is the definition of a whipsaw market. It gets up here and bulls were probably hopeful. I bet I was hopeful. I mean, whatever. And then boom, and then it runs the other way. Then it gets down here and then all the bears get hopeful because it breaks down past it's the lowest low on the chart. Nope, boom, it goes the other way. This is just a market, just intent on cutting off trending behavior at there's no trend developing the past. I mean, look at this market. I mean, ever since March 20th or whatever, it has been pretty much trendless. I mean, I guess it's pulled back a little bit, but it's been pretty much trendless. Okay, let's look at some of these individual names here. So we have Tesla. These guys trade Tesla options. It looks like Tesla just opened down a little bit. We're at 168 and dropping 168.65. So let's see. We got the cash market opening. Let's look at that one open slow. Let's look at SPX and see how it's open. I'm gonna check the comments in a second if you guys want to say what's up. Look at that face ripper. That's not really a face ripper. Face ripper is something different. That's just a gigantic gap. It'll probably be slammed shut if it's like anything else. I mean, that's nothing for bulls to get excited about. This whole chart has been, anytime it looks like something's developing for one side or the other, it gets slammed and knocked the other way. It's just a super, super whipsaw chart. But so right now, profit box wise, JEPY, they have the yellow and green profit box. Their profit boxes are our profit boxes. In a profit box, the top line is max profit or above, all the way to infinity. Okay. The red box is SPY-T's profit box. Now it's an inverse profit box because they do a bearish hedge. In any event, on the red profit boxes, the max profit for that strategy, the max profit for that strategy is the bottom line or below. Now, that's the thing that's a little bit confusing about SPY-T because you don't want the market to go down because SPY-T is just 98% SPY shares. This little spread it does is a very small portion of it. So other things being equal, you want the spread to be at max loss, which would be over the top line because your SPY shares are worth more. So the way the SPY-T works is really cool, but it's totally different. And I feel I have to explain that a bunch. Like I said, I've even thought about leaving the SPY-T profit boxes off there because they really don't. I mean, SPY-T are just rooting for the highest close possible. Jackson. All right. I got a comment on one of my things I got a comment to not holler at him so much. Let him, because last night he was chasing the rats and I was hollering at him nonstop. And so I got a comment not to holler at him so much. And but I was just more scared he was going to run in the street. I'm having a live stream right now. Mornings with Max. All right. Anyway, the market just opened, so let's look and see what else is open. Let's see how Russell opened. Now it doesn't have as much of a gap. But my point was, I wasn't yelling him to be mean. I'm not trying to come across that way. But that scared me the other night. I forget about him, and I come out here, and he's not on his leash. He's chasing the rat, and I forget about him. And then he's walked across the street, and then it's dark on my street, and a car comes by, and I'm not over there with him. And he's black. He's hard for cars to see. I'm afraid he's going to get run over. So when I'm hollering at him, I'm not mad that he's chasing the rat. I'm just trying to get him back here where He's supposed to stay where I can see him. That's the rule we have, that stay where I can see you, but he doesn't always do that. But he's a really good dog. So anyway, um, all right. So you can see Russell has very little room to spare as far as they open right about on max profit. If the market pulls back at all, they're going to start. They're definitely the weakest one in relation to where their profit boxes are. Here's SPX. Look at this. The top of its profit box, max profit is 51.35. They open at 51.60. That's like a 15 point, head start. Now, I'm not saying it can't come all the way back. Here in an hour, it'll probably be down. And knock on wood. I knocked on wood. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The volatility's up with all the stuff going on overseas. It's going to be touch and go. It's going to be touch and go. Okay, let's look at some more of these single stocks. I was just thinking, let's check out old Coinbase here. All right, Coinbase has 3 strikes. I made the green strike is the one that has the most contracts. Just trying to think of a way to do that. But they have a nice 3-strike ladder. You can see last week they just used 1 strike. And they just pretty much went back and forth through it several times all week. Now, the week before that, they used the ladder and never touched it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this week's more like last week or more like the week before that. And then the week before that, they used a single strike, shot straight through it on Monday. Week before that, they had a single strike, I think, shot straight through that. Anyway, I know Return on Dividends likes the ladders. Then the ladders, and I do too. I'm not making fun of anyone. The ladders are good too because it gives you more. With the laddered position, you're going to get less yield. You're going to sacrifice yield potentially, but you're going to get more capital appreciation potentially. That's what the ladders do. The ladders, give you more chance for capital appreciation because they spread out your strikes. But because they spread out your strikes, instead of selling all at the lowest strike, selling 2 higher strikes, you're leaving money on the table versus selling at the lower strike. But it's I prefer ladders too. I think ladders even out the results a little bit. I think sometimes depending on how many deltas they need, or I don't know what they look at, but they're trying to pick up theta, which is time decay, or maybe they're making it based on delta, but they're looking at the option formula and figuring out, and they know they have a number in their head that they need. And I think if they can hit that number and put on a ladder, they'll do it. But occasionally, I think, it's my theory, I'll put it on my list to ask them next time, they can't meet the number and they just slap on one of them. That's my theory. I think what they do is all algorithmic. I don't think they or planned out in advance, rule based. I don't think they sit around and talk about what they think it's going to do much. They just aren't those kind of people. They're the random. Those, from what I can tell, talking to Jay, he's a efficient market, random walk down Wall Street kind of guy, as am I. And so those kind of guys, that's the way they manage money. Typically is with rules and formulas and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Like I should have asked him. I'll ask him next time if I get another interview. All right, I'm going to check comments in a second. So Tesla just has 1 strike, but I also put the strike for TSLP on there. Now TSLP strike was way up there. Where is it? Yeah, it's a 210. Of course, TSLP, it's a different game what they're doing because they don't sell options on the weekly. They probably had this one since back here. I didn't see when they got it. They just sell options on a monthly basis. So these lines are 4 times as long this way. And they could, because of that, because they're on the longer time frame, they can be further away from the price. In any event, okay, well, Tesla opened down, came right back to this trend line I've been looking at. What else do we need to look at? Let's look at Misty, which of course trades Mr. options. It opened down, but not as much as the other ones. I would say Mr.'s the strongest of the bunch. Then now they have a ladder of 2, I believe. Yeah. They had a ladder of 4 last week. Now, the reason I had that theory about sometimes there's enough volatility in the market that they can make however many thetas they need to make, and theta is a measurement of time decay with with multiple strikes. The reason I think that is all these ones with crazy high volatility, like Mr. They're the ones that usually do the multiple strikes. I just looked today, and Tess Lee lately has been the one most likely to do a single strike, and Nvidia sometimes. But in any event, those are also the least volatile. So I think that the higher volatility allows you to place to ladder more strikes out. That's my working theory. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. All right, let's check out. Let's see. I'm gonna. You guys have comments for me. Comments are my favorite thing. It's saying private. It always says that, but I know it's not private. Watch this. I can open up this tab every freaking time it does this to me. My internet connection's unstable. Anyway, mornings with Max. All right, there's 14 of you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll let you go here in a second. I was just going to make sure there's no questions and see if there's anything else we need to talk about. I got all kinds of new videos I'm working on. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, I got questions. What's up, Brad? Did any of you guys see my live stream last night? I didn't get one question, and that's never happened to me. Now, it was pretty late. It was like 11 o'clock, and it said 10 people were watching, and I asked like 3 times for questions. I said, hey, you guys have any questions? Anyway, all right, let's talk about the market and stop talking about Max. No one cares about Max. The market is what makes us money. All right, so see what the hell. Well, we've already looked at Bitcoin. What else can we look at? Oil, I guess whatever's going on overseas, they aren't that worried about it. Like I said, it looks to me, I'll guarantee you the people that needed to know whatever was going on, they found out up here. And this is why the market the Friday before. And that's why the market started diving in advance. And then by the time the news actually hit of, oh no, Iran surprise invaded, in the case I'm talking about, mainly about the indexes. So then in the case of the, it goes down, oh my gosh, and the news actually hits. This is the classic buy the rumor, sell the news. This is a sell the rumor, buy the news, because it's an inverse situation. But in any event, I appreciate it. Okay, question. Let's see, your screen sharing. Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Oh, no. I'm trying to make sure you guys could see my screen, but I could see the comments. Oh, I think I figured it out. All right. Well, kick ass. It looks like something's taking a dive on the screen. What is that? It's NASDAQ futures. Let's go back here and put it on something. Put it on NASDAQ. This is NASDAQ cash, but the cash update's live and the futures is behind because I haven't paid for it yet. I will, though. This week, I'm gonna subscribe to futures. I mean, you could see the NASDAQ doesn't need to drop very far, and then this can turn into an entirely different market. But as long as the NASDAQ doesn't drop much, and the SPX has a gigantic head start, I can't imagine the SPX pulling back that far, but I'm knocking on wood because it can happen. I bet you, here's what I bet you we do. I bet you we have a giant relief rally. I bet you there's no telling. I bet you it runs to the other side of this recent little balance area, which is 52.30 to 51.50. I bet it runs to the other side, probably past it. Then I'll probably come on and say, hey, I'm thinking Nvidia calls for Friday. What do you guys think? You watch, that'll happen. And then the next day, because it happened last week, I said that right here. Right here, I said, man, I think Nvidia calls might be good for Friday. Then boom, slams it the other direction. I don't know. How have you guys been doing trading? My trading has not been going. But anyway, I'm too in love with the video calls, right? Yeah, NQ's green. They're all green. I mean, but it was painting a red bar, Brad. I think because it was red from the club. NQ goes on a 24-hour chart, so it's painting a red bar here. Anyway, the futures quotes are delayed. That's why. But the cash quotes, so NDX, SPX, and RUT, which are cash quotes, they're live. I think they're open source. I don't even think they charge for those quotes. Like anyone can get SPX and NDX live. It's like a public domain. What's up, Dangerous? Norman, good to see you, Brad. Okay, let's see Mark H. All right, he's talking some technical stuff. I like this kind of stuff. Index is pulled back daily to the 50 EMA, maybe just some profit taking. Let's look at that. I'm going to pull that up in a second. I like to look at that kind of stuff. Hey, thanks, Brad. I appreciate you enjoying my SPY T presentation. I got all positive. Well, you were in one of the comments that I got one negative comment on the whole thing, and I was a little afraid of that because it was but I like long form discussions. I like that, but some people don't. And I tried this. The funny thing that guy said, "Hey, script it out a little better, because you talk so much and say." I'm aware of that. I know that. Welcome to my life. It's been that way my whole life. And I tried to script that out. I spent a week. I had like 12 slides. I had that thing so scripted, that presentation yesterday, that I recorded it Saturday, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes or something. So I went back and I took half the slides out of it and just tried to speak like I was speaking to a friend, just like I'm telling a friend, hey, they're doing this, and just trying to, because I think that's where I do best. In any event, I think you guys all liked it, but except for that one dude. But oh well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But now but also I do realize a lot of people like quick, to the point, concise content. And my next 4 videos are going to be quick and concise review videos where we talk about different funds, and that maybe we compare a few funds in the last maybe 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most. I'm going to get back to those kind of videos, but no, I'm glad you guys like that. And I've been wanting to say a bunch of that stuff about SPY T forever. I think there's a lot of misnomers out there about SPY T. Gosh darn it. I need to get, I think there's a lot of misnomers out there. I think some people think it's going to outperform on the upside because they buy an extra call, but the call isn't going to make them outperform. It's just going to uncap it. They're still going to have a slight underperformance by virtue. Anytime you sell options, you get money now, but you're getting to some degree of you're sacrificing some degree of upside performance later. So, but no, I really like the SPY T idea, because the way I look at it, you can get the QQQY, you can keep 20% in your pocket, and you can, reinvest the rest. So yeah, it's going to pull back, but you're reinvesting, so you're buying at lower price. It's not going to, so you're going to keep your stuff stable, is the way I look at that. But SPY T, I look at that for somebody that doesn't even want to mess with that. So just put it in there, and that they basically, they've already solved the 1/3 problem. Yeah, but there will be a little bit. It's not going to perform as well as the SPY. If you want the SPY, get the SPY. It's going to be a lot closer than any of the other ones on the upside. So I'm beyond pumped about it, because I was saying I think there's 2 problems in those funds. One problem is they go down really far and really fast, and they basically get all the downside. And then basically get very little of the upside. Well, this solves the very little of the upside problem. It's now they get about 90% of the upside on this strategy. The strategy still has the problem of it's going to drop like a rock. If the market's down 5%, it's going to be down 5%, and all the covered call strategies are going to be down 5%. Anyway, that kind of stuff happens, and we can't really, do much about that. No, I appreciate you being here, Brett. Yeah, no, I know. See, here's my theory. WiMAX it's not, I have a theory that, everyone talks about the NAV being stable or whatever. It's the reason it can be stable for different reasons. Some funds have real stable NAV, like SCHD. Well, they have real stable NAV. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because they only pay a 3% dividend. So they don't need to, so their capital part of their portfolio, the capital sleeve, only needs to appreciate 3% every year to overcome the effects of erosion or decay, whatever. But so that's one thing you can do, is to have more stability, is just choose a fund that pays less. Get JEPQ instead of QQQY. Be more stable. Get SPY T instead of triple QY. You're going to have more NAV stability. NAV stability, it's just one and the same thing. Now, the reason WiMAX has a double thing going for them where they're also stable because of diversification. So, you know, because they have some funds up, some funds down. And so they're having the effect of that adding to their stability. But also they have some mixed in funds in there, like Aptly, that pay less. That yeah, a fund that pays less, the lack of stability comes from the high payment. If you want, you know, that's the ironic thing about these. People are always talking about yield chasers, and you know, and people are always, you know, they want to get the one with the highest yield, and that's great. Just be aware. And I didn't realize this first when I started my channel either. But I thought there was good ones and bad ones. I had some misconceptions, but no, you choose a high yield, you're going to get, you know, you're going to get the side effects come with it. You know, that's, you know, there's no way to get away from it. In my, that I know of, I don't know, guys. Let's see here. Let's see what else is going on. Let's look back in on the single stocks. They were all moving down last time I checked. Coinbase was the strongest of the three. There it is. When I say the single stocks, I'm just trying to follow the 4 or 5 most frequently traded. This one is a shit show. What? Oh, well, now that's Tesla, but gosh darn it. So if Tesla's doing that, we know that Tesla's probably doing that as well. Jiminy criminy, what is going on? Wow, this one's volatile. But this one has been kind of a bright light lately. When all the crypto ones pulled back, you know, about a week and a half ago, this one popped up here to 180. Then, as you guys can see, it's kind of gradually settled back down to the mid 170s, and now we're at the mid 160s. Well, anyway, somebody put in the comments they know what's going on with Tesla. As usual, I don't have on CNBC, and haven't seen any press releases. But I know they have earnings coming up. Maybe they're just volatile in front of earnings. I don't have any of the yield max ones, but if somebody stuck a gun to my head and made me put all my money in just one of the yield max ones, and it couldn't be YMAX or YMAG, made me put it in a single one, it would probably be this one. I've just always been a big NVIDIA fan. Like to buy call options in NVIDIA, but it's a good thing I took a nap. Remember last Friday, Thursday afternoon, I was all about, and then I fell asleep. Jackson, I fell asleep on the couch. Well, it's a good thing because I was all about NVIDIA calls. I even got on and made an update, and I said I would have got NVIDIA calls, and the next day I would have got cleaned out on that one. Oh well. Like I say, buying calls and puts for me, that's fun money. The serious thing is what Jay and these guys do. Do that with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and with tens of thousands or fives of thousands or ones of thousands, you know, play some little option, you know, here and there just to try to enhance your own yield, but just for fun and to give you a little, you know, it keeps me out of trouble and gives me a little something to do in retirement. Anyway, any yeah, so short and sweet is good. Yeah, okay, Brad. Well, from now on, but yeah, last video wasn't one of Tesla's. She's just okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, one thing. Let's check out what Mark H said. I want to I'm going to start looking at more of this. Let's look at the SPX and let's check out the 50 EMA and let's get a little bit longer perspective on this thing. Let's get it on some daily bars. No, I just said daily. Come on. Oh, all right, this thing, I didn't bring my power cord outside. Jackson, what is going on, buddy? Oh, look what happened to Jackson. He's got himself stuck around the tree. Jackson's a smart dog, but I just don't know why he can't figure that out. That's not that hard to figure out. They say the border collies are some of the smartest dogs. When I got him, Jackson, just a second. When I got him, I looked at Wikipedia. I went to Google image search. I did an image search, and it said he was a Boerdor, which is a half border collie, half Labrador. So then they have a Wikipedia page, and I went to the Wikipedia page, and it talked all about Boerdors. It said Boerdors, or border collies specifically, but Boerdors, some of these smartest dogs. And Jax is a pretty smart dog. But I wish I could train him how to untangle himself. At least 3 times a day, I have to get up to go untangle him. and it's just not that hard. Okay, but anyway, let's put the 50 EMA on here, and then I'll go untangle that poor dog. All right, moving average simple. We'll just do a simple moving average, but I think I can change it to E. I think I could probably go to settings and switch it to exponential. Let's just look at a 50 period. I mean, I know my technical stock scalpers into exponential, and oh yeah, we do have it. We do have it. Watch here, EMA. We do have it right here. I'm going to go unstick him as soon as I hit. I'm going to get him because I'm sure it's frustrating for him. He doesn't understand why I won't come help him. All right, guys, I appreciate your patience. So here's the 50. So that what that guy was saying, I forgot your name already, sir. I'm sorry about that. Mark, I think it was a great point, and it was the other day, the indexes pulled back perfectly to the 50 EMA. Anyway, so if this is the time frame that you like to follow, I follow a shorter time frame, but what you would do is you would be bullish above this if it comes down and tested, and so what I would do if I was following this time frame, I'd be bullish above it. But if we got a close underneath it, then I would start looking at puts. I trade where I don't predict what's going on. I just observe what's going on and try to react. Because like I say, I don't think you can predict. All right, guys. Well, let's see what VIX is doing. Is there anything else interesting to look at? You would think. I was thinking this day was going to be well, it's kind of cool. Now we have the 50 period moving average or exponential on all of them, just for fun, I guess. I mean, I can leave it on there. I don't like charts to be too cluttered, but on this one, here's a good example of a bearish play. On this one, we lost the 50 period EMA. If you're trading this time frame, I'm not suggesting that you do that, but people that are trading in this time frame, it looks like it's about to get bearish on that time frame, or else this is a bear trap. We'll see. We shall see. All right, guys, my power is just about out. I'm going to check the comments one more time. I appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, Mark. Okay, it was laying off 10%. Okay, Mark, did you just see I put the daily EMA on there anyway? But yeah, good point on the indexes pulled back to the daily EMA just the other day. That's exactly what's going on. I'll keep that 50 EMA up there for a while, and we'll see. We'll see how it does. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back at lunch. Take her easy.